Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Black Dragon RPG. I, of course, am John, and today we are going to talk about Pathfinder First Edition. I wanted to do a video where I kind of do like an inventory almost of my First Edition Pathfinder collection. I don't know. I enjoy watching videos like this. Draven Swiftbow does a lot of videos on his channel where, or at least he has in the past, where he has shown, like his collection for different editions of D&D and Pathfinder and stuff like that. So I thought that sounds like a fun idea. Plus, sometimes it's cool just to, even if it's like a book or something that you don't use a ton, it's still kind of fun to go back every once in a while and just like look through your collection. So I don't know. I thought it'd be cool. So I figured I'd start with the Pathfinder First Edition Beginners box, which I've just always loved. Paizo's beginner boxes and stuff. It's just chock full of like goodness. Of course, it's the Black Dragon on the front there. Really awesome. But yeah, it's got some really cool stuff in it. And if you are brand new to the game, this is a great way to learn it. That's why I chose that first, because I'm kind of trying to go into, I'm trying to go in like order of like, if you're interested in collecting for this edition, like what are some of the core things that you should buy. And if you've never played it before, I highly suggest the beginner box. And then that would lead into the core rulebook. So I was late to the Pathfinder game, actually. I just have started collecting it in the last like maybe 3 or 4 years. But it's really awesome because they've released these pocket editions, and I think most of them, if not all of them, are still available. So they're really easy to get a hold of. They're on Paizo's website. They're on Amazon, which I'm not like a huge fan of Amazon or anything, but they are on there. But yeah, so this is the core rulebook, and it's in a nice sized paperback edition. It is the entire core rulebook. Let me show you an example of the font size. I've done an in-depth video of at least this and maybe the Game Master Guide before, so you can go check that out if you want to see like actually what's in it and stuff. So yeah, I'd get the core rulebook. They do have a game mastery guide, but you don't necessarily need this. I think you could, even a DM, I think, could run an entire game out of the core rulebook and then just maybe like the Beastiary. But this still has some like really solid stuff in it. And this is the pocket edition, nice compact size. And I honestly just enjoy reading like rulebooks and stuff because I'm a super nerd like that, I guess. So, all right, that brings us to the Beastiary 1, also pocket edition. Most of my collection for first edition is going to be pocket edition. So they have Beastiary 1, they made a Beastiary 2, Beastiary 3. Oh, I'm not done yet. Beastiary 4. Beastiary 5. Oh, yeah. And Beastiary 6. So I personally love monster books. So the fact that they did 6 Beastiaries in first edition, I'm on board with that. And I wouldn't mind if they did the same for second edition. But yeah, pocket edition's really awesome. Great sizes. So I did track down one hardcover. A few hardcovers, but this one is like my favorite. So I figured after I talked about like the kind of the core books, the core rulebook, Game Mastery Guide, Beastiaries, if you're interested in running a game of Pathfinder, I would pick up the Inner Sea World Guide. This thing is awesome. It's basically all lore. I don't think there's really many mechanical things in it. In fact, my D&D game that I ran last year, it was set in Galarian because my players weren't ready to accept Pathfinder into their lives. So I was like, well, we can still be in the world of Galarian, and they didn't know any better, and it made me feel like I was sprinkling in some Pathfinder into their D&D game. So this is a fantastic book. I would definitely suggest that. I also liked in first edition how they did kind of little books like this, and this is a campaign setting book. Very small, compact point in the map. In fact, just a small town and region called Sandpoint, Light of the Lost Coast. So I based my 5th edition game out of Sandpoint, so it just covers a small area of the Galarian map. It gives you, basically this is a Gazetteer. It gives you locations, like a ton of locations. 52 locations in the town and surrounding areas. And it fleshes out everything. NPCs, multiple inns, taverns, just like literally any business or shop or NPC residence that you could want is in here. Like, it's a fully fleshed out starting area. I use this as their base of operations in my 5th edition campaign. Books like this are amazing for DMs that don't really have a ton of time to just create everything from scratch. Like, I used to have time for world building like that. Now I take all the help I can get, and this book is fantastic. In fact, I bought 2 of them so I could do things like cut the maps out and use them as handouts, and just I dissected the other one into my my campaign journal, so to speak, and then I just have one, of course, because I'm a collector. So I think the next chunk of books are going to be good to pick up if you want more options. So the first one is the Advanced Class Guide. So this is going to give you, obviously more class options and expand on some of the classes that are in the core rulebook. Same thing with the Advanced Race Guide. And again, these are all pocket editions, so you can pick them up pretty cheap. Most of these are only like $20, and you can get them cheaper on sites like nobleknight.com that sell. They're pretty much like a tabletop RPG superstore. But yeah, so class, race. Of course, there's the Advanced Player's Guide. This is going to have many more options for your players too. It's got quite a few other classes like Witch, Summoner, Oracle, Inquisitor, Cavalier. This is where the Alchemist was located in first edition. In second edition now, it's a core class because everyone really loves Alchemist. So that's a good book if you're looking to pick up some books. And then you have the Ultimate series. I don't know how many of these there were. I only have 4 of them. I have Ultimate Wilderness, Ultimate Intrigue, Ultimate Campaign, and Ultimate Magic. And so, yeah, I've not, like I said, I haven't really ran a first edition Pathfinder game. So I haven't dove too much into these books. I just have them in my collection, so maybe that's shameful. But yeah, these are, I think these just give extra options as well. Yeah, so the Magus is in here, which is a spellcasting class. It gives extra options for the Alchemist, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Inquisitor, like basically any kind of spellcasting class that exists. There's a section on Mastering Magic. There's, of course, different feats. Gives you more spells. So each one of those are themed, obviously. Magic, wilderness, all that kind of stuff. So those are pretty cool. I just haven't really had a chance to look through them. And then they had the Adventures books, which, yeah, I definitely had to pick up this one, Occult Adventures. So this is kind of right up my alley. But it added classes like Kineticist, Medium, Mesmerist, Occultist, Psychic, and Spiritualist. I just really like that kind of stuff, that weird occult kind of stuff. Then there's Horror Adventures, which was obviously more horror-based tabletop RPG flavor. Really cool. There's Mythic Adventures, which I'm pretty sure is higher level stuff. Yeah, so this is pretty much higher level play. And I did manage to find a hardback of this one. So it goes over mythic heroes, mythic feats, mythic spells, how to run a mythic game. So that's obviously pretty handy if you like higher level play. This was a must for me, the Planar Adventures, because I am a sucker for planes and different planes of existence and stuff like that. So this was a must grab, and I was able to find this in hardcover too, which is awesome. So then we have the Codex books. This is the NPC Codex, which I've used quite a bit, even in D&D, because, besides obviously making some adjustments to stats, this just has a ton of great ideas for different NPCs that you can throw in your game. Again, if you don't have a lot of time to world build, let the NPC guide help out. And then there is the Monster Codex, which it's not necessarily another Beastiary type book. It's more it will give you a deep dive on orcs, for example. Just new rules for them, creature statistics, and different encounters that you can run with orcs. So it's basically, there's not as many monsters in here, but it focuses on different types of monsters. So, the kobolds, the drow, the troglodytes, trolls, vampires, that kind of thing. And this is a really good book for a DM as well. And then they had 2 adventure paths, and these are the anniversary editions of these. So I went ahead and picked these up because I missed out on the hardcovers because I wasn't collecting at that time. So this is the anniversary edition of Rise of the Rune Lords. And so what this does is it collects the different adventure paths that were in that series, and it just collects it into one book. And it's revised, and I think there's even stuff added to it. Like I said, I wasn't collecting at that time, but I'm pretty sure I read in here that this also adds stuff to that adventure path. And I'm telling you, even if you don't play Pathfinder, you can still mine this for ideas for your campaign. If you want something epic, this is one of the best adventures, pre-written adventures that I've ever read. Definitely, that's worth it. And then there's the Curse of the Crimson Throne adventure path. And I really, honestly, have not had a chance to read through this. I'm assuming, since they collected it and released it as a giant book like this, I'm assuming it was a fan favorite, because they don't do that with all their adventure paths. So if it's anything like Rise of the Rune Lords, this is probably amazing too. So I just haven't had a chance to read it. So yeah, there you go. That is my, I'm pretty sure that's it. That's my first edition Pathfinder collection. So if you're inspired to go check out any of those, then I guess my job is done. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Be sure to give me a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.